Good evening, everybody. Namo Buddhaya. My name is Linda, and I'm so delighted to welcome you all to our Mindfulness Through Buddhism Sutta Study class. It is so wonderful to see many familiar faces tonight. So, this is a class where we deep dive into the Buddha's original teachings, known as the suttas or the discourses. These teachings aren't just ancient texts, they are a vital roadmap for developing a right view on how to live a truly happy and peaceful life. For the past few weeks, we have been learning one of the Buddha's core teaching, the law of dependent origination. And it's been going for a while. I think we had uh, 10 sessions already from the very beginning, from the Samaditi Sutta. So, but please don't worry if you're new to the topic, uh, because you can always catch up from our recordings. Now, tonight, we are very fortunate to have our Venerable Amita Kema Bante to guide us. Bante, thank you for being here to share the Dhamma and share your insights with to these timeless teachings. Without further ado, I would like to invite our volunteer. Um, I believe it was our friend Sumana to do a recap from our past Dhamma class.
So last week was, as most of the classes have been, they've been quite difficult for beginners. I've only been practicing for 2 years, and it's still difficult. But the theme of our last week's presentation, our discussion, was the benefit of understanding reality, and as a stream enterer, which I'll explain in a while, how much suffering can be removed from our life. So the Bhante started off with a question that most of us ask sometime or other. What's going on in our life? If you have attached expectations from what you are doing, and if these are not realized, you will suffer, and that's life. When we reflect on our past, it's merely a thought, and the physical feelings are no longer there. The same occurs when we take our last breath. All our past that we assume is there is actually just a mental movie or mental picture. So there's no need to be attached to that. We need to accept the reality of life. And when we encounter something, we can just say, that's life and that's what I expected. By fully understanding dependent origination, we're letting go of a huge amount of suffering, and this knowledge helps you understand yourself much better. People attach to things, and Bhante gave a short story of a person who was bringing flowers to the Buddha daily and then couldn't do it again at some point and felt very sad. He had attached to this process. He was so used to it that he became attached to it. In another instance, someone took his flowers and presented to the Buddha themselves. This resulted in that person becoming angry since he was not able to let go of that attachment at that particular time. So the moral of the story is that attachment caused anger and ergo suffering. That person needed the certainty, but when that certainty was gone, he or she suffered. If you're in a similar situation, you need to understand that because of birth, you receive the six sense faculties, which are not under our control. And knowing dependent origination helps us understand that death, illness, sadness, lamentation, physical and mental pain will all arise. You need to understand that you did have the intention to give the flowers to the Buddha, but you did not get karma or kama giving it to the Buddha. The karma is generated just by the intention, and not as soon as you have the intention, that's when you generate the karma. So because you didn't give the flowers to the Buddha, you still have the karma. Also, we need to understand the reality that the flowers will decay and die. That's life. That's the reality of life. And having the wisdom to understand this relieves you of a great deal of suffering. In situations like this, you would think to yourself, this is what I expected, and you're not affected by it, thus removing any suffering from that particular situation, and it allows you to live a suffering-free life as long as you can continue doing that. Then there are a number of similes that were presented, and the Buddha, for instance, got some dirt under the upper part of his nail and asked the monks, where is there more dirt, under his nail or on the ground? The monks said there's no comparison. In turn, the Buddha said that the person who understands reality and has attained the first stage of enlightenment, which is called a stream enterer, has let go of suffering like the whole amount of earth, and what was left of suffering was just the dirt under the Buddha's nail. So compared to the suffering you had, once you become a stream enterer, it's so small it's almost insignificant. For those of you who may be new to the teachings, I just wanted to clarify what a stream enterer is. And in Pali, the word is sotapanna, and it describes a person in Buddhism who has reached the first of 4 stages of enlightenment, which guarantees them eventual liberation, or nibbana, within a maximum of 7 lifetimes. They're considered to have entered the stream of the Noble Eightfold Path, which those of you who are not familiar with that, you can go back and listen to some of the videos that we have and understand the Noble Eightfold Path as well. And they directly experience non-self, and they eliminate the first 3 fetters or chains. And those 3 are identity view, sakata duti, doubt, vichikicha, and clinging to rites and rituals, silabhata paramasa. They are also freed from the possibility of being reborn in hell as an animal or as a hungry ghost. We need to see the Buddha through his teachings only and not through anything external. Like if a statue of the Buddha happens to break and you tripped and knocked it over, there'll be no punishment, and you need to have the wisdom of dependent origination in order to overcome any upset feelings you may have, and remember, you will not be punished for this. You don't have to see the Buddha through a broken statue. You need to know, and there's no need to suffer. Everything is subject to change. You can now contemplate the qualities of the Buddha from that truth, rather than seeing the Buddha as some kind of superpower who is going to punish you. Another example that Bhante gave was not being recognized by your family for that great dinner you prepared. And if you don't hear any comments how great your dinner is, you start suffering because you attach to an expected reaction. You expect people to say, oh, I just love that steak was great, or the potatoes, or whatever. And you expect to hear that from them. And if you don't, you suffer. So if you don't see dependent origination within yourself by understanding reality as it really is, you suffer again. You need to be honest with yourself that you are clinging and attaching to an expectation of those people who you want to pray, who expect to be praised by, and try to understand what it really is. It could be ice cream, someone's smile, appreciation from your boss, or a myriad of other things we simply just get attached to. And once you understand and admit to the truth, you're free from attachment and thereby suffering. Another point is to be aware and not justify your attachment. Only admit to the truth, and then you're able to see the cause and effect of that attachment. The first step is actually having the right view, which is the first noble truth. the first set of the first step in the Eightfold Noble Path. That is understanding things as they are, accepting reality, and letting go of attachment. Bhante gave an example of attaching to expectations in a scientific study with pigeons. One group, when they peck, they receive grain all the time, while the other group, when they peck, they receive it only intermittently. The group that pecks and does not receive the food and normally was getting it all the time, does it a couple of times and then heads out to find food elsewhere. While those who were getting intermittent feeding, not always, they were just getting, occasionally they would peck and they get food. For them, subconsciously, there is a thought pattern that was created, or a filter. And that filter tells them that one day they'll be successful. They're attached to that filter. They attach to the thought, and therein lies a trap. A small thought pattern that they had creates a huge story for these pigeons, and eventually they die. So this applies as well to our own lives, and understanding dependent origination can create freedom and result in our having inner peace and happiness. In summary, every defilement that we have has attachment, and these are dangerous. For those who may not be aware, there are 3 primary defilements in Buddhism. They're known as kilesa in Pali. The first one is lobha, which is greed or attachment. That includes craving, clinging, and the desire for sensual pleasures, objects, or states of being. The second one is dosa, aversion, or hatred. That's ill will, malice, and the desire to destroy or push away what is disliked. The third one is moha, or delusion and ignorance. It's a fundamental understanding of reality, failing to see impermanence, non-self, and the nature of suffering, and is basically not having realized or understood the Four Noble Truths. Bhante then gave a couple of similes that show how much suffering is left once a person becomes a stream enterer. These all show the huge amount of suffering one will let go of if someone sees reality as it is, and you need to understand that within yourself. He then refers to a number of qualities of the Dhamma which we can strive for. If you know the teachings of the Buddha, we can understand it here and now, which is called sanditiko. It is also timeless, akaliko, and well explained by the Buddha, swavakato, inviting inspection to come and see ehipasiko, and guides the practitioner step by step, opanayiko, and finally, pachatan veditabo vinuhi, to be individual realized by the wise, are directly experienced and understood by each. The main point to understand is that suffering is just part of life and results due to attachment. Wherever we attach, there is suffering, and to remember that one characteristic of this existence is that everything is subject to change.
Without any further ado, we would like to invite Bante, Venerable Amitakema Bante, to guide us with the sutta study. And tonight we are going to dive into a very deep sutta. I think it's Timbarukasutta from Nidana Samyutta, and we put a title as Who Creates Suffering in You? Please, Bante, guide us in the Dhamma. I will spotlight. Many merit, Bante. There sampai.
Terawan Sanai, Namo Buddhaya. Okay, let's pay our respect to Buddha first. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. My homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, Sadhu. And let's pay our respect to our teacher, Pinwat Loko Swamin Wahanse. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, and you all have a kind of a very good knowledge on dependent origination, I believe. And so we need to turn it to a real understanding with seeing it within ourselves. So knowledge is something really good. And so uh, I'll dive into that with this, which is so we usually pay our respect when you see when you go to a like monastic tradition to see like a monastery also you may see it like kind of a something like if you are being honest and if this is your first time visiting, if it is not something comes from your culture, you should have this question: why this much of worship? So Bhante worshiping to statues and devotees worshiping to Bhantes and they all together worshiping to a tree. So what's going on there? It's like exercise. So there should be a question like that, and it's an honest question, and it should be a right question to ask. And so the reason is, so it's not about you know that maintaining a hierarchy. So there are two reasons for that. One is that the letting go of ego. So we always try to maintain a personality, and then we stuck in our personality. So but that personality is not us, it's something imported to our life based on the culture we lived in, based on our parents and teachers' influence, based on society. And so there are so many things. As an example, when you are in university, when you want to find the kind of a degree which you can do easily, you pick a degree and then because of that you get an occupation. So then later you represent yourself as I'm a doctor or I'm a physician, I'm a teacher. So then what happens if someone does not treat you the way you expect? It creates kind of a suffering. So it's a but that personality is kind of an important personality to our life. Not only that, even our whole name and everything in our life. So if we born in somewhere else, we represent something else. So likewise. So then the second thing is that's the gratitude. So if someone attained to this first stage of the enlightenment, so there are something, not even the first stage, even the path. So there are something. It's like can't remove from their life, which is the gratitude. That's what Buddha is saying. That gratefulness is kind of a first sign of someone's practicing this path. So if you feel grateful to the Dhamma, Buddha, and teachers, and if you feel grateful not only to them, even someone who's offering you a glass of water, you don't want to say, "Hey, I'm so grateful to that." You don't want to just go and say to everyone, but if you feel it within yourself, it's a sign of the path. So because you instead of going with attachment, you are having a rest in your life. When you have a rest, eventually you feel that gratefulness. And at the end of the journey, there is nothing to be grateful. You just understand the reality. So it's ending the whole that attachment to the whole aggregates, and it's another word to describe. It's an akatanyo, that ending the gratefulness. That it's not like being a rude or like as being selfish. Also, there is nothing to especially to be grateful. You have that. It's like you have that without attachment to that. So that's the right way to describe it. So Arhan Sariputta, he used to pay respect to his teacher, even he is the last, after Buddha, he is the most wise person who lived. And but he used to pay respect to the one who taught him Dhamma. So, but he's not attached to that. So, gratefulness is something good, and you should not attach. That's what I want to say. How do you know when you have attached? When someone do not respect the way you want it to someone you really care, then you may feel pain. Does that mean that you have attached to that? You should not attach to that even that way also. Okay, while saying so, let's dive ourselves to these teachings, and I would love to see all of your beautiful faces. And if anyone still can open your cameras, feel free to do so, because I gave a kind of a good recommendation to this class, to sing Sri Lankan Sinhala language class. If you don't see how people open their cameras, please come and visit Wednesday class. And since that I have given you a recommendation, kind of appreciation, if they count, it's better to see your beautiful faces. And so I'm just saying, you don't want, if you are not in a place where you can open your cameras. Right. Now, let's dive into the sutta. So in this sutta, what you learn, that's what we need to learn first. So this is, we can see in here how how someone is a wise, intellectually, like a wise person approach to Buddha. So and how they ask questions and how open they are. Like, even due to respect, they do not hide what they want to ask. Since they are being honest to what they are asking, at the end, they understand what Buddha teach, and at the end, they are going for the refuge to Buddha. So you can see that how wise questions improve your knowledge and improve your wisdom. So, right, if you have, I believe you all in WhatsApp group, so you may already have seen the link of the Sutta Timbaruka. Since that, I will go through the Pali Buddha's language to, I will translate it to English. Okay, Atako Timbaruko Paribhajako Yena Bhagava Tena Sankami back then. So then Timbaruka Paribhajaka, like they are another kind of a, you know that, okay, this is something we need to learn. Actually, it took almost 2 years to realize this in Western culture. So that there are like different group of people who seeking the happiness, inner peace in Eastern culture. And to be honest, it's not in, at least in American society, because American society is a in that capitalism, no one can live without doing a job. Everyone will need to do a job. So there's like accountable part, so that monk or someone like that mean they are, it's like they had like cut off, like they stopped seeing this rat race, and they're just living with the society, but with no, like, that lay life action. So why I'm saying that, there's a difference between monk and a priest. So we need to see a monk in the Buddhist perspective to understand, see a monk how my monk is, rather than seeing in a different religion, like seeing a priest. As an example, so when in DC area, I'm attending to different interfaith programs, and since I'm a chaplain in a university, so I interact with other chaplains. So what when we discuss, what usually we discuss, hey, I had to go to my what they are saying. I had to take care of my grandchildren, so that's why I was late. And some says that, okay, my childrens are coming, so I'm going to a dinner, and then I'm having a vacation over there. So it's like that all the priests, someone say I came by cycling, and so uh, it's there. There's a common thing, that it's like everything what they do is, they are like, the priests are like helping the society to see their religious leader or God, helping, they are doing like a medium job, like, that connecting. Hey, you should see the God through this script. So like someone helping while living in the society. But a monk mean someone living out of the society and finding inner peace for themselves, and they are not responsible to teach lay people Buddha's teaching. They are not responsible, but they are like with compassion. They are saying, as an example, saying think that there are like, if it is a head, if we take a head count, there are maybe like 500 meditating with us, with associated with monastery, and all those programs are like conducting most of the time myself. So if I say that, okay, I want to take a break, and if I say I'm not going to do the programs, there is no one can say, okay, you can do that. You definitely come and show up. No, there is no such a accountability. It's like a volunteer service, 100% volunteer service, and no one paying for that. And uh, other than inner peace and happiness, when we learn and when we discuss about Buddha's teaching, it also brings us to that peaceful mind. Other than that, there is nothing receiving. If someone receives, since that you know that, okay, I know Bhante came, so therefore I want to give him some special gift. Yes, I appreciate, but in the same time, I can do my other than anything what I am doing, and there is no like that special what bond because of that special treatment. I mean, if I do that, I'm not practicing what Buddha is saying. So Buddha is saying that though it's not the right way. So likewise, so that monk mean he is not responsible to teach or I mean yes, teach, or like he see this rat race and he sees like, okay, I need a break and see inner peace within myself. I want to like invest my life to find the true happiness. So he is living away from society as a compassionate act, as a gratefulness to what Buddha teach, and as a seeing people, because people help to sustain this life by bringing alms and bringing and offering food and offering these robes and everything. So because of that gratefulness, giving something to society, and so that's where the monk. So it's a kind of a culture which was in this Indian society, not only monks, different types of monks. So some believed that the freedom or inner peace may come by just being like behaving like a dog. There were people like that. So like everyone knows that it won't happen. So what? But it was a tradition. So Buddha, even though Buddha having this the free like monk life, when some other Buddha said, okay, if someone try to behave like train their consciousness to act like a dog, so what will happen? You will end up being a dog, none other than anything, not a freedom. So that away from this life, like the lay life, and even the monks, they had their Buddhist, not only Buddhist monk, there were other religious people, and they had different views, and there were arguments. So arguments means not like debates, it's like that open discussion. So in that way, that democracy was there in back then. As an example, when Buddha going to someone's place, walking, usually the other religious places, there were like so many discussions, and it's kind of a shouting, everyone with each other, the talking like loud. So when Buddha or any monk, sometimes lay devotee come to their place, they used to silent, and they say Buddha is coming, or they don't say Buddha, enlightened person, they say Shramana Gautama, that's a personal name, is coming. If we speak aloud, he may go back. So let's be silent and let him come. So then Buddha go there and they openly ask, discuss. So there were things like that. Okay, that's the culture there. So now, so Timbaruka is a kind of he had his own spiritual journey. So he came to see the Buddha. Upasankamitva Bhagavata Sadding Sammodid, met the Buddha and just had like that small talk, like hey, how are you doing, and how's the weather and things like that. So, like, because some comes and some worship and sit aside, some come and they just pay their respect by bringing their palms like lotus pose, and that's all. Some they don't say anything, they just sit. So this since there is no like that faith or anything special towards Buddha, with this Timbaruka, he came and had a like he knows someone special with knowledge, and he had a discussion like, how are you doing discussion. And Ekamanta Nisid, he sat aside, and then Ekamanta Nisin no Timbaruko Bhagavantan etadavoch, then he talked, say to Buddha this. Let's see what he says. Right. He says, Kinnuko bo Gotama sayankatan sukadukkanti. Is this happiness and unhappiness? This is it done by ourselves? Are we the one creating that? So you may have your answer. I'm asking you to have your own answer for that. If you have read that sutta, then you know the answer, so that not can't help. So then Buddha saying, Mahevan Timbarukati. Don't say that. Then he asking, okay, Kimpanabo Gotam Paraka Parankatan Sukha Dukkha. So that means this happiness and unhappiness someone else created? Then Buddha say, Mahevan Timbarukati. No, don't say that. Remember, we are learning a teaching which we can see here and now within ourselves. So what we are going to learn should have that qualities. So therefore, you do not want to dwell on anything. Just go with the flow, right? Because these questions are asking from Buddha and not from you. So you don't want to worry and pressure yourself, right? Then, okay. Kinnuko Bhogotama Sayankatancha Parankatancha Dukkan Sukha Dukkan. Okay, this like a combination, I mean, with the help of other, with myself and the others, it's like all together we created this happiness and unhappiness. So then Buddha saying, don't say like that, Timbaruka. So then, Kim Panabogotama Asayankarang Aparankarang Adicca Samupana Sugadukan. Okay, Gautam, so which mean that not me, not even others created this happiness and unhappiness without any cause and effect. It just arises. Okay, that's what you are saying, right? So then Buddha saying, okay, don't say that, Timbaruka, don't say. Then he's asking, Kinnuko bo Gautama natti sukha dukkha? Okay, what do you mean? There is no happiness and unhappiness? Is that what you are saying? So then Buddha saying, Nako timbaruka natti sukha dukkha. Attiko sukha timbaruka sukha dukkhanti. No, Timbaruka, don't say no happiness and unhappiness. There are happiness and unhappiness. So, and then, Tenahi bhavan Gautamo sukha dukkha na janati na vasati. See how open they are. They are saying, okay, that means, Gautama, you don't know about the happiness and unhappiness, and you don't see it. And so then Buddha saying, Nakko aham Timbaruka sukha dukkha na janami na passami. No, I'm not saying that I don't see it and I don't have understanding on that. Janami ko aham Timbaruka sukha dukkham passami. Ko aham Timbaruka sukha dukkha. I know about happiness and unhappiness, and I see happiness and unhappiness. So then Buddha see happiness and unhappiness, but Buddha don't see. He does not see it someone created by ourselves. He doesn't see created by someone else. It's not. He doesn't see it's like a both parties act, and he doesn't see like it's like just arising for no reason. So he clearly sees something, but we want to find what Buddha say about happiness and unhappiness. Okay, what are the happiness and unhappiness mean? So your smiles are happiness belong to. Your tears are some tears are belong to unhappiness. Some tears are maybe coming for happiness, and some tears are coming as a survival act. You want to get kind of a favor, and then your tears just are coming. It's like act. So there are different reasons, right? So whatever the unhappiness or the happiness, what you feel, what I feel. Okay. So then he's following up a question. So Buddha, I ask these questions and you say it's not and don't think in that way. And then when I ask whether you know about that, you say you know about that. Okay. How should I understand that? Sa Vedanaso Vediyati ko Timbaruka Adito Sato Sayankatan Sukadukanti Evam Pabang Navadami. Okay. I will go with in English Bhikkhu Bodhi's translation. If one thinks the feeling and the one who feels it are the same, then one asserts with reference to one existing from the beginning, pleasure and pain are created by oneself. I do not speak thus. So why Buddha saying, is it self-created? If someone believe that because he's in a kind of a misunderstanding that this pleasure and pain are created by oneself. I mean, so Buddha never says that pleasure and pain created by ourselves. So then we need to understand this. So when we talk about karma, haven't you heard that, okay, that's his karma. Okay, if you do that, then you have to pay for it. So then, isn't there like a kind of a contradiction or something can't understand? Yes, okay, that's what we are gonna understand. So this will improve your knowledge on the karma also, right? So then, the same way Buddha saying, uh, if one thinks the feelings is one, the one who feels is feels it is another, then one assert with reference to one strike. Okay, one striken by feeling. Pleasure and pain are created by another. Neither do I speak thus. So the opposite of that. Without veering towards either of these extremes, the Tathagata means that one who came to the truth or one who attained to the truth, teach, or another synonym to the Buddha. Tathagata teach the Dhamma by middle. That means without letting to put themselves to that oneself created or someone else created. He teach this teaching in middle. What is the middle? Avijja Pachaya Sankara, or that the ignorance, based on ignorance, this Sankara, or the for what's the word we use for formation in here? Here, Sankar is like formation. Yes, right? Because in here it's a different
Yes, Bhante.
translation. Okay, the Sankar formation is there. Because of formation, consciousness or the Vijnana is there. Because of Vijnana, mentality and the materiality or the Nama Rupa there. Because of mentality and the materiality, six sense faculties or the Ayatana is there. Salayatana, because of Salayatana, Passa, contact is there. Because of contact, feeling is there. Because of feeling, craving is there. Because of craving, clinging is there. Because of clinging, that the becoming or the collection of the karma is there. So and because of that becoming, the jati or the birth is there. Because of birth, decaying and death and all the suffering is there. So Buddha teaches that. Okay, now let's dive into that to understand this. So the reason Buddha teach us dependent origination to find find the end of suffering here and now. So this, when you understand this dependent origination, it what erode karma even. That means the thing that you are someone who has a karma, you have committed a karma, that karma in two life, think that you are gonna be in some bad destination. So with your understanding, it eroding the karma also, that this is a path to erase the karma. From what? Improving your wisdom. But karma, when we learn this part in somewhere in a teaching, karma is something that the strength can reduce. If it is a bad karma, I mean, in the both ways work, you can reduce the strength, but somehow you will experience it even in a slightly tiny way. So when you understand this dependent origination, what happens? You let go that the idea of I which we put into this system. So can we remove that idea of I if we think that this happiness and unhappiness I created by ourselves, myself? We can, because we already put that I in this the story. Okay, can we remove that I if we put that idea of that someone else created sufferings in I? It also does not erase that I. If someone want to erase that fake I, what he need to see? Need to see the cause and effect, or depending one to the other. That dependent origination, one help to the other, one help to the other. When he understand that the sufferings will over. Okay, it's like this. Okay, now just relax yourself. I know you are like, okay, I wanted to go to a class, but it seems like it's like so many difficult things in there, and I don't want to go to maths. Please help me. It's like that. So just relax yourself. Take a couple of slow and deep breaths, and because you want to end the suffering, and you don't want extra suffering of not knowing Dhamma, right? So this is not to create like idea. Okay, Buddha's teachings so like so deep, and you need to just to pay respect and keep the books in the cupboard and worship because we can't understand. No, this is not a class like this. This is a class you have to understand it and apply it to yourself and let go the suffering. Right. Okay, now let's try to understand. Okay, think that. Okay. Of course, your car, think that the car is create sufferings. Car create pain. Car, your motor car create suffering. But you need to let go because car itself not create sufferings. You just think that the car is the product of the dependent origination. Now it allows to go from your home to your office or store, market or whatever. So then, but but just existing a car itself, think that it's a suffering. So then you need to understand that, you need to let go that seeing a car, right? That you see it, when you see it a car, it's a problem. So again, car is not a problem. I'm just trying to give you an analogy, right? So don't try to see your car is like just a collection of spare parts, and then it does not give you enlightenment. So I'm just giving an analogy, just an understand as an example, analogy as analogy. Don't take it like too like serious. Once you understand this, let go the car. Think that the car is the problem. Like that the decaying and death and the sufferings arises in here. That's the problem in our life. So if a car is the problem, can we find a solution to like the eliminate the car? Can we eliminate the car by believing that car is someone else created? Of course, that's why I'm saying that definitely mechanics created that. Okay, if car is someone else created or self-created, like I created by myself, okay, or if not, what it auto just created by itself. So what in every like story, there's a car. So that means that we can remove that identity of car because we believe that car. We believe that car and we have stories. So if we want to let go the all the stories belong to car, we want to see that car without a car. So then what we need to do? Okay, saying that, okay, one way, okay, make it to break it to parts and see. Think that the same parts are there, but disassembled, like all the four wheels are there, all the parts are there. It's like not collected, and it's not like a car, like the model of a car. So each and every part, even single screw is here. Can we say it a car then? I mean, we don't say it a car, right? We see it like a bunch of parts. So likewise, try to what we are doing is we are try to see that the ignorance in I. So to remove that ignorance of I, what we need to do, we need to first, in the first hand, we want to not to believe all the stories which are created with that I. Okay, again, these is like example of similes. I'm not like that pre-prepared and bringing. When I discuss, I'm bringing one by one. So there may be, and don't ask after 2 weeks Bhante they tell me the same story again. I may not say that because it's I don't have like that data rack. Okay, when you ask this, and you say, if you ask a sutta, yes, I will say, okay, let's go through sutta. Okay, then think that we are like um, someone, okay, you are dreaming. How do you know dreams are dreams? Okay, now we are
When we
saying that
wake
dreams
up, Auntie.
yes. If there is no way to wake up, do we know that dreams are dreams? No. To see a dream, we need another conscious level. Okay, now what our living life, I mean, now whatever the bad thing happened in that dream, we don't take it too serious, right? So because we know that it's a dream, unless someone has like your parents are influenced, or you are like someone who used to believe dreams as so real things, so you may see that the predictions, but other than that you are not taking it as so serious, because you may have fallen couple of times from the sky, and there's a danger and you want to run, but your legs are not working, but you don't go and say the doctor, my legs are not working, can you help me, right? You know that it's a dream. So likewise, to see this life also like a dream, to overcome from all the sufferings, we need to see that how this create. We know that about dreams, okay, dreams are not someone else created or self-creating or something. When someone sleep, when this body need a rest, then when we lay down, when this body feel like that like not so functional, and then our consciousness like go to another level, and we feel like we are in a like REM mode, like rapid eye movement mode, and then it turned into a light sleep, and in there we see dreams, and if we go to deep sleep we don't see dreams. And then likewise we know that it's a story. Likewise the same way these sufferings arises, we see it through this dependent origination. Because of this arises, because of this arises. So now you can use that you know that how contact happens, how because of contact how craving happens, how because of that craving clinging happens. So how that karma creates, and how this jati exists, that the birth exists, and because of that how this decay, death, and all the problems arises. When you see that, instead of seeing something personal, you see it's a cause and effect. And if it is your true vision, yeah, think that if your wisdom let go that I in you, and this eventually you let go that the eyes, that the enemy eyes around others. Enemy eyes mean not this side, enemy eyes who are in the other side. So you are then free from that. You see the cause and effect, and you feel the freedom, and you will experience the freedom as freedom. So likewise, so how do we know that we have this understanding within ourselves? The same thing, like think that if since I almost forgot that example. Someone said that, then I'm saying that bringing in the thing that someone want to offer flowers, and he's waiting to offer flowers to Buddha statue, and then he just offered it thing that for some reason, and he's paying respect and chanting all the chantings he knows. While he's chanting, someone just came and he thought that, okay, this flower may be pretty old. I have a bunch of good flowers, and then he's just replacing the same thing while you're chanting. Then what can happen? So you are thinking of the qualities of the Buddha. No, you are not thinking about that. You will be so much of, you have so much energy, and your face will be so red, like, and you're like a living monster for some reason, and you're like chanting anger because you see that because that's the flower I just offered, and then you get angry. So that means that you have not seen the reality as it is. If someone see the reality as it is, they know, okay, if I place the statue, so if that, okay, the flowers are there, statue is here, so how can someone say that, okay, placing the flowers in front of a statue, is that the only way, like that is the place where you get karma or good karma, happiness? No. When you think, it create intention. And so what if someone break the Buddha statue? Then you will feel like heartbroken. So if you see that, it's like if someone break the statue, if you don't feel as suffering, you see that something bad happened. But if you are not suffering from that, that's where the right understanding is. If not, that statue can break the whole country into two, divide and fight with each other. Then there will be so many statues in both groups will demolish. Not only the concrete statues, and living humanity also will die. Why? You don't understand that how suffering arises. How suffering arises where you have attached. That's simple. But when we going to see it, it's not that simple. But we need to see that where I have attached. So then you can end the suffering. So in brief, what we learned? We learned this suffering. So the happiness or suffering can say, but it's self-created, someone else created, a joint thing, or it just arises. If we want to let go that I in that see the reality, we need to, without going to two ends, in middle, you need to see dependent origination. If this arises, this will arises. If this is here, this also will here. Like if A arises, B will arises. If A is here, B also will be here. And if A sees, B also sees. If B is not there, A is not there, B also not there. So that's what we need to understand.
Yeah. So in the sutta, it's this Timbaruka is asking, does the pleasure and pain come from myself? Does it come from another being, or both, or neither? And then in the dependent origination, we learn like the pleasure and pain is kind of like the feeling, right? Like the pleasant or unpleasant feeling. And then that's arising because of the contact, which arises because of the sense faculties. So the I in that, like, it's a process of that happening, right? But the I in that comes from, I guess, my question is, does the I in that come from like the mind's reaction to that feeling? And then we
Yeah,
perceive.
I comes because of the existence of ignorance.
So because of the ignorance, we don't just see it as the feeling and the contact and the consciousness arising. We see it as like a personality.
Yeah, yes, because of ignorance. Because ignorance is what? Not knowing of what is suffering, cause for the suffering, cessation of suffering, path to cessation of suffering. So that means what? We frame a fake I in it, and then we try to protect it. So that's it. So not only that, you say the contact feeling, the whole thing that that's the place you may have familiar to, but someone may super familiar with the jati pachya jara marna, or that because of the birth, decaying and death happens, and all the sufferings arise.
But the whole dependent origination we frame as an I, even though it's just a process.
No one says dependent origination if there's I.
Oh, the whole like process.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
You're talking about the car and taking the car apart. And when I meditate on the body parts, that is kind of the similar thing, because if you took the body and had parts all over, there's no I there. It's just all parts, just like there's no car there. So is that kind of a similar way of understanding that when you do the contemplation and meditation on that?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it does in that 4 elements meditation in Kaya Anupassana, the four that the found like the about the body, mindfulness in your body.
Or the 32 parts as well, right?
Yeah, or the 32 parts as
well. Yeah.
Good. Really quickly, so when you mentioned like about the Buddha statue, that when it breaks, you should be upset but not bothered because you don't have expectations. So let's say something similar when you see a friend.
Can I pause?
Yes.
I didn't say you don't have expect. I expect with the statue to be clean and nice and beautiful every day. And when you come, if there's dirt, please clean it, right?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, please.
So
attachment to the expectation is the problem.
That's what I meant, yeah. So let's say you see a friend and today they're, maybe in a bad mood this week and they don't say hi to you in the hallway. So normally you're expecting them to say hi no matter what. But if they're not, you should not be upset because you should release expectations that they should always say hello. Is that correct? Like a release.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So you can find when you feel pain or suffering, you can see, okay, where I have attached. So then you need to work on that. Then you are working on finding a way to that person to say back hi to you.
Okay, so release expectations and let them naturally come back. And let's say you're always saying hi when they say hi. Should you match your always be like consistent or match their expectations? Like if you're always saying hi, but they're not, is it okay to like take a step back and not say hi to them just so you, like I said before, match expectations?
If it depends on if you are doing it as anger, that like there's a like defilement comes with that. How to say it in English? It's like that Okay, I need help. Anyone knows in Sinhala we say ekata eka karanawa. How to say it in English?
Tit for tat. Tit for tat.
Tit.
Tit for tat, yeah.
Okay, tit for tat. So
Yeah.
then it's a defilement and it's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So despite expectations, always be loving and kind to people, correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And then, okay, now if you want to see your life in a different perspective, every day try to like note down like at least 20 or so different sufferings you are going through. So you know, to be honest, these things you may not really, I mean, it's really difficult to say to someone. If it is in a class like this, of course we can say that. How can we say that I was upset because he didn't say hello? Then others will take it as a joke while they are going through the same situation. Like sometimes you feel upset about some simple thing, but note down, and then you know that okay, this is something I'm going through. If you work on that and if you overcome from that, then you're overcoming from suffering which not from just one person, from maybe that the others also can create those suffering. And because of this you will find in no time you have a great personality, which means that you are so, like, it's not stubborn, but you are so direct, you are so compassionate, but in the same time you are so direct because you can easily let go things while holding things with compassion. So it's an amazing personality. Like then people will respect that personality, then no one will try to use you.
Yeah, I'm a very, like, one thing about me is, especially ever since starting this class, is that I always try to be really nice. Not too nice, but friendly to people, because if I'm angry, it's not going to make me feel more peaceful. So even people that hurt me, I still am warm to them because I want to keep that inner peace.
Yeah, right. Okay, so in the end of the sutta, so see that I will finish this because it's too late for you. So at the end of this discussion, Timbaruka understood what was the saying, and then he's saying, "Evam vutto Timbaruka paribhajako bhagavantang etadavocha." He said to Bhagava means, okay, you may hear Bhagava, that's like the worthy one. You may hear Buddha, enlightened. You may hear Tathagato, which means that's one who attained to the reality or the truth. All those are synonyms for the Buddha, right? Okay, he's saying Abhikantam Bhagavata. It's like saying just wow, it's amazing. Buddha is amazing. Because why he says that wowness, amazingness, he just realized that how sufferings arises. Abhikantam Bhagavatam. Abhikantam Bhagavatam. So nice, wow. In here that the Pali part is like that cut off, but I will try to memorize it. It's saying that Nikujitang wa ukujitang, which means I think that their support, it's like upside down. So no matter if we, even though we bring it to in front of a water tap, it can't fill. What Buddha you did is like you turn it to the right side. That's what you did, and then you what you did, like, you know that andhakareva tela pajjotandare, which means that someone trying to find a direction in the dark, you just like a light a lamp so to see the direction. What it says that Abhikant Bhagavatam Abhikantama Sayyidhapi Bhagavatam Nikujjitanga Ukujjaya.
Something hiding, then it is vivareya.
Yeah, Patichananga Vivareya. Yes. Think that something covered, think that there's a table covered with think that there's a beautiful cascade or something covered with different things I can't see inside. So it's like you opened it to someone to see. And Andhakareva Telapajyotandareya Chakumanto Rupani Dakinti. If anyone has eyes, he can see that. So that with that compassionate idea, someone light up a lamp. Eva metam bota gotamena aneka pariyayena dhammopakasito. So likewise, the Buddha, you taught me teachings in various ways. Esaham bhavantam gotamam saranam gacchami. Buddha, I'm going for the refuge for you. I'm taking refuge in you. Dhammaja bhikkhu sanghaja, and your teachings and your disciples. Upasakam bhavam gotamo dharetu. Please consider me as a lay devotee. So that's what it's saying. Not for today, just for today, throughout my life. That's what he's saying. So see that he gained confidence towards Buddha not just by worshipping or doing something, seeing someone else doing, just asking questions open. It's so much of openness. So that's how that he gained confidence. So don't frame like everyone will do in that way. There are some people, they gain confidence when they're chanting, when they feel calmness. Some people, they don't ask questions, they would like to feel the meditate. So it's your path. You can say that here's my path, everyone should follow my path. It's not like that. We should practice our own path. Okay, Osha.
I just wanted to share that the chanting really helps me because I have like a non-stop mind, and my mind, and then generally the mind always likes negative thoughts, and the chanting has been helping me a lot, and it keeps me, very much, and then I can go back to it, and then I'm calm, and then I sleep better too. I don't remember the dreams, so I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, that's true. Sadhu.
Thank you, Monty.
Yeah, and so that I know that the same, like one group, like they like to chant even for an hour. So the other group say, "Oh, is it okay? I will skip the chanting because I don't want to sit for an hour." So like guys, so that's pretty normal, and no one is wrong or no one is there's no such a thing. Let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today we learn about Timbarukasutta and we accumulated many merits, good karma to our life. Let's share all this with all the divinely powers and all the past relatives and friends and with our teacher, Pinnath Lokaswamin Wahanse, and all the monastic monks and with our wonderful volunteers and all the meditators and Dhamma listeners came today to learn the teachings. May you all be well and happy. May your all good wishes come true, and may you all able to experience the blissfulness and the happiness. I'm chanting blessings in Buddha's language. Abhivadana silisa nichang vada pachayino chattaro dhamma vadanti ayuvano sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samichyatu. May you all have a long life, happy life, and healthy life. Namo Buddhaya.